it's Maggie.
Hi. Very punctual.
What is your biggest regret?
Oh, jeez. Everybody knows that. I regret, my mother wanted me to go to college. She saw, I was young, so she saw things in me that I obviously didn't see. And even though she was an uneducated woman, she came from, born and raised in Italy, came here when she was 24 with my father and one baby that they had at the time. Even though she was uneducated, she was extremely smart. She was wise,
Mm-hmm.
She was just wise. She just knew. She was very, very, she just knew everything. She always had an answer for everything. She just knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being young. I wasn't thinking going to college, and she thought I was smart because I'd had a double promotion when I was in elementary school, and she just wanted me to do something with my life.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd had, seven. She had 7 kids, a couple of miscarriages, so she really knew what being married and being a mother and having all that work and responsibility. My father died when I was 15 months old, and she was 7 months pregnant with my sister Clara.
Mm-hmm.
And so she knew. I didn't know what she knew. She had all those experiences, and I didn't listen. I mean, I met Papa, and I mean, I'm 80. I've been with Papa since I was 21. We
Mm-hmm.
went together for like a year, a little over a year, and we got married. And I had 4 kids by the time I was 30. And Papa even encouraged me because he knew my mother always wanted me to go to college and become a lawyer. And for the first almost 10 years of our marriage, he was still telling me. He was telling me to go and do that, but how am I supposed to do that? I can't do that. I got all these kids,
Mm-hmm.
So I never did it. And then in like 1970, when we moved into this house, we've been in this house since 1970, I thought I want to do something besides taking care of kids and taking care of the house. I want to be and do something else. So I tried to think of something that wouldn't be take away too much from the home and the kids. And I said, I know what I'll do. I'll go to hairdressing school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then once I was doing that at night.
Yeah.
And I had a sitter for like an hour until Papa came home. And then I was going to school 3 or 4 hours a night, 3 nights a week. And, I knew I made a mistake, but we had already paid for it. Money was tight back then. So I felt obligated to complete it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like it. It's really, I should have done something else. I was just trying to look for something to do outside of the home that would be just for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose something I just knew halfway through, this isn't anything I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even Papa encouraged me to go to law school, and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because I just felt, I got all these kids, they were all little,
Mm-hmm.
And he worked very hard. And I didn't want to leave him here at night by himself, taking care of all these kids,
Mm-hmm.
So that's a regret, but I don't regret getting married, and I don't regret marrying Papa. I don't regret having my kids because I feel like we made a family.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was such a big age difference between me and my sister Clara and the rest of my siblings that there wasn't a lot of celebrating holidays and birthdays and things like that. So I always felt me and Clara were a family, me and Clara and my mother, we were a family. The other ones were older and stuff. And as I got older, I was very close to my sister Gloria. They were like second mothers to me and Clara.
Yeah, Mom tells me I'm a lot like you pretty often, actually.
I know, and I wish that was like a compliment.
It is. She means it in a
You know?
compliment, but we're like she just says I'm a lot like you.
Yeah, and it's like when that's being said to you by my daughter that I love and cherish, I mean, you know, I always talk highly about your mother, and I would love to think that when she says that to you, it's coming from a place of, it's a compliment.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I'm not perfect because none of us are perfect,
Mhm.
but you know, just I just like to get through my day, week, month, life, whatever, and not hurt the people closest to me.
Mhm.
That's what I really want to be able to do. And sometimes it happens, you know. You screw up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Growing up, what or who was one of the biggest influences in your life that helped you become who you are now?
Oh, definitely my sister Clara and my sister Gloria. I mean, when my sister Gloria died in 1999, it really left a big, like, hole in me because she was always, she was always telling me, I mean, she lived in Jamestown, New York. That's where Papa and I used to go there in the summer and visit her and stuff.
Mhm.
And she always, in a phone conversation, she was always telling me that you're so special, and you're so special to me, and you're so. I mean, she was always. I mean, whatever she was saying to me, I was special, you know. And she said she would always praise me and thank me, and you know, she always showered a lot of love and affection towards me for being a good sister to her, and especially stepping in as I did as a young girl with a lot of kids of my own that I was raising, and taking such good care of my sister. Because when my sister moved to the Fernald School, my mother actually thought that she was going to get some degree of education and be taken as far as she could go for her disabilities.
Mhm.
And that never happened. That wasn't that kind of a place. I mean, they had such problems in the way they took care of the people and everything. I mean, there's a whole history of that. I mean, I had my mother's old trunk she brought from Italy with all their belongings in it. That was in my basement for years.
Mhm.
When I was advocating for my sister. That trunk was full to capacity of documents, of letters I wrote to different officials and people at the school. And I used to write to the federal court judge that was overseeing the things that were going on at that school. I was part of a class action suit. I was a member in a class action suit. A group of us, parents and guardians, got together and we sued the state for the lack of good care that they were providing for people like my sister.
Mhm.
And I think when I was advocating for my sister, and actually I fought a lot with people, I argued a lot with people, and I spent a lot of time going to meetings. And there were times I brought all 4 of my kids to these meetings, and I would tell the person I was meeting with before I was going, we're going to have to sit outdoors. It's a nice day, and I have to bring my kids with me for this meeting. So they need to be able to run around and play, and I need to be able to see where they are. And I had meetings like that.
Mhm.
And, but I think my sister, she always made, when she passed away, I thought, oh God, I wonder if I'll ever have anybody in my life again that's going to think that I'm not special. Because she used to make me feel like so, you know, good. You know, when someone's always telling you you're so special and you know, it's people don't always hear things like that, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's all caught up in life. They don't tell anybody you're special and, you know, all that, you know?
Mhm.
And, but my sister Clara and Gloria, I forget the question you even asked me now because I go, your mother said you got to rein me in.
The question was, growing up, what or who was one of the biggest influences in your life that helped you become who you are now?
Oh, definitely Clara and my sister Gloria.
Mhm.
I think because I think she was always kind of pumping me up, you know, my sister Gloria.
Mhm.
She may not have thought that or realized that, and I don't think I did until I stopped thinking about it. And I think she made me want to do good, you know, because she thought so well of me, and you know, she always made me feel so nice and like warm and comfy and all those good things, you know. And I think without even her realizing it or me realizing it, I just always wanted to do my best, you know.
Mhm.
I guess I didn't want to disappoint her,
Yeah.
you know. And she thought my kids were the greatest. She just, you know, she loved the kids.
Mhm.
My kids were very good. They were very well behaved. We could take our kids anywhere, and I would get compliments. Papa and I would get compliments on how great our kids were.
Mhm.
They were so well behaved. They really, believe it or not, when you, because now you're seeing them as adults, and you think about Ronnie and Anne Marie and stuff. But my kids were very well behaved, and they were very respectful.
Mhm.
You know, good
Yeah.
kids, good kids.
The next one is, what is the biggest challenge in your life that you overcame, and what did you learn from it?
The biggest challenge,
Yeah.
I think, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer,
Mhm.
that was big. I was 58 at the time, and your mother was pregnant with you at the time. Anne Marie was pregnant with Cody, and it came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
I had a mammogram 9 months prior, but I remembered one day getting out of the shower, and I was standing in front of the mirror, hooking my bra on, and I was thinking, oh, my boobs don't look right. Something looks kind of weird.
Mhm.
And I made an appointment with the doctor. In the meantime, I started feeling around, and I found a lump on my left breast.
Mhm.
And the Solomon Pond Mall had just opened. It was brand new. And Debbie, your mother, and Anne Marie and I had made plans to go there. We were going to spend the day walking around the new mall, shopping, and then we were going to have lunch together. And we were sitting somewhere having a cup of coffee when I had to call. I knew that my doctor wanted me to call her on that specific day, so I excused myself to make a call. And back then, I don't, how the hell did I get the news? I'm trying to remember. That was back almost, 22 years ago. I'm trying to, oh, I know what it was. I had gotten the phone call just before everybody got here to pick me up, and we were going to go to that new mall.
Mhm.
And she told me that, because I had had a biopsy.
Mhm.
I had gone to Dr. Tulane. She did the biopsy. And she called me to tell me that it wasn't good.
Mhm.
She said, it's not good. Do you have a surgeon? And I said, no. And she gave me Dr. Goodman's name, who took care of me for like 12, 13 years.
Mhm.
And then he gave me the name of the oncologist. But that was a big, because I thought I was not going to live to see you because when your mother was carrying you, she was pregnant with you,
Mhm.
and Anne Marie with Cody, because you and Cody are only 6 months apart in
Yeah.
age. And I thought I wasn't going to live to see either one of you born.
Mhm.
So it was bad. I was, and you know, you go around trying not to, you know, look bad, look depressed, feel depressed, and you know, you have to kind of. I mean, when we got at the mall, the 5 of us, I just had told them. I said, you know, I got news before we left that it's not good, my biopsy, and it just put a whole damper on the whole. Thinking back, I should have probably not even told them, you know, at that time.
Mhm.
But it was just all like inside of me, you know. I had to get it out.
Yeah.
But that was huge because for 6 months I had to do chemotherapy, and that, you know, and then I had to do 7 weeks of radiation, and then it was always, you know, if they thought there was something suspicious, I'd have to go for tests, and I'd have to go for biopsies. I mean, those years back then, at least 5, 6, 7 years, from that time on, from the time I had a lumpectomy, I had surgeries. It was very challenging.
Mhm.
I always thought I was going to die.
Mhm.
I wasn't going to live to see, you know, whatever grandchildren that were going to be brought into our lives. I didn't think I was going to get to see them. The only 2 that were born then was Greg and Lindsay.
Yeah.
And but here I am, 22 years later.
Yeah.
But when it happened to your mother too, I mean, that was devastating.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastating. I could not believe it. And I was tested. I went to your mother and she came with me. I went to Newton Wellesley and had the BRCA, you know, tested for the BRCA gene.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I had the gene, if I was carrying that gene for breast cancer. And I didn't have that gene. And I couldn't figure out why did your mother get it.
Mhm.
And that was horrible. And then that whole second episode when your mother, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I still get upset when I think about it.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. And
it was my pleasure. All right, I'll see you soon.
Awesome.
Love you.
I love you too. Have a good day.
And be careful.
Oh, I will.
All right.
Tell Papa I said hi, and I love him too.
I will, honey. He's outside doing yard work. I'm going to go join him.
Oh, geez. Okay, good luck.
All right. Bye.
Bye.